So look, let me move on to Duke. Let's stay in the great state of North Carolina. Duke's over-under is 6.5 this year. They went 9-4 last year in Manny Diaz's first year. This is where I think the context is really important. Because remember, Mike Elko left before last season. Riley Leonard left before last season. They took on heavy losses across the board. And I remember doing this preview. I think I look back at my notes here when I was jotting this stuff down. I think I had them pegged for like a rebuilding year last season. I had them under 5.5. I was very pessimistic on Duke.
And you went to a Duke game.
And I went to a Duke game.
Yeah.
We were there at the portable stadium out at Northwestern.
Yeah.
So that said, it's kind of like an all-time zag for Duke to win 9 games in a coach's first season, and now for them to randomly drop a big old bag of cash to bring in one of the top transfer quarterbacks this cycle in Darian Mensah.
And they're, by the way, a gust of wind away from beating a team, a gust of wind away from the championship in SMU, multiple overtimes. Yeah.
You and I had a conversation, and I referenced this on one of our previous 2 episodes. When we were putting all this together, we had a moment of pause when we were on the phone chatting this through. And we came to the conclusion at the same time that, wow, Duke might be like the most reliable team in this whole wild card tier. That's not to say they're going 9-3.
Right.
But in terms of what they have and what we think we can count on, what we think we know we're going to get, Duke feels pretty solid. And that's really uncommon ground for the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah. I think the word I was going to use was like dependable, or just like most drama free, it seems, because as many players as like Clemson returns, there's immense pressure on Clemson to win this conference this year with what they're returning. There's zero pressure on Duke. There's basically no pressure on Duke ever, though they are spending more. So with that kind of spending, you want to see a return on that. Business mind over here, Dan Rubenstein. That's what people like when they spend money. They like goods and services for their money.
No, of course.
So, yeah, I just think there's basically no pressure on Duke beyond like Darian Mensah should give Duke boosters what they paid for and be a good quarterback for Duke. But the defense should be good. The offensive line was pretty horrendous last year, opening up lanes for the running game. The running game in general was terrible. They should be better. There's a lot of experience coming back. I don't know what that means. They could just merely be below average. But if your starting point, once again, is quality defense, especially up front, and quality quarterback, and the schedule to me is not, maybe I'm misremembering, but it doesn't seem crazy brutal.
It's not crazy brutal, but it's harder than it was a year ago.
Sure.
It's harder than it was a year ago. And even though Duke won 9 games last year, it's not like they were blowing teams out. They beat one team with a winning record, which was UConn. They won 6 one-score games. There's a world in which this year's schedule features 10 bowl teams.
Yeah, the non-conference portion is definitely tough.
This has the hallmark to me of a team that's better, but has a worse record as a result of the schedule.
Okay.
But look,
7-5 with the bowl win?
Something like that. But listen, again, you got to be thrilled with what they did in year 1. It was like Havoc City down there in Durham. 43 sacks, 116 tackles for loss. It should be no surprise to learn that Manny Diaz also runs an aggressive attacking defense, Dan.
Of course. But like unpredictable and fun. Do Penn State people like Manny Diaz more than they like Tom Allen?
Kidding me.
Okay, just making sure. I don't know.
Don't even tease me with that.
Yeah.
7 starters back this year with reinforcements coming via the portal. I think the defense is in a good situation. And look, Darian Mensah, I think, is an upgrade over Malik Murphy. For as much as I liked Malik Murphy before he came to Duke, I think Mensah's an upgrade. I think he makes them more explosive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who's going to step up out wide. I don't know who he's throwing to. Is it Andrell Anthony? Is he going to be the guy who steps up from Oklahoma?
I think he's fine if he's healthy, yeah.
You know, is the defense able to lead the way enough while the offense figures out who its playmakers are in addition to Mensah? You know, I like Jaquez Moore. I like their true freshman, Nate Shepard. I think they have pieces here, but it's just, I think it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress on offense, and we're just going to have to see how the defense holds up against what amounts to, I think, a better schedule.
So it's a more difficult schedule, and what they were able to do last year was go 9-4, once again, 9-4, with basically no offense. Yeah. This was a sub-100 national offense. So if, again, they're merely average or a little bit below average, and the defense is right around where it was last year because they do return, as you mentioned, key pieces, I don't know. I think they're pretty good. I think they have a really good shot at winning a bunch of games. I don't know, what are the home road splits? Do they have tough road stuff? It's at Tulane, at Syracuse, which is going to be tricky, at Cal. It's across the country. So at Syracuse, at Cal, by the way. That's a nice little 1-2 travel monster.
Yep.
They get Georgia Tech at home after a bye. They get Clemson. It's a mutual bye. And then finish with UConn, Virginia, North Carolina, Wake. That's pretty good.
Again, still harder than last year.
Harder than last year.
But not terrible. All things considered, not terrible. By the way, the week 2 game against Illinois.
Huge.
It's a bigger game than I think a lot of people realize. That's a big game for Illinois.
I mean, Illinois is going to be what, top 15-ish?
That's a big game, Dan. Don't sleep on that game. I'm going to put that one on our Run the Board game.
You know what that is? Duke, Illinois. It's the team that got John Scheyer versus the team that is still heartbroken about not getting John Scheyer.
The Scheyer Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And Scheyer's not only still a Duke person, he's the coach of the Duke basketball team.
He's the coach of the Duke team now, yeah.
He's incredibly Dukey.